Cross River State is a coastal state in southeastern Nigeria. Located in the Niger Delta, it occupies 20,156 square kilometers and shares boundaries with Benue State to the north, Enugu and Abia states to the west, the Cameroon Republic to the east, and Akwa Ibom and Atlantic Ocean to the south. Created on the 27th of May 1967, its name was changed to Cross River State in the 1976 state creation exercise by the then General Murtala Mohammed regime from the southeastern state. With its capital in Calabar, other major towns include Akankpa, Biase, Ikom, Obubra, Odupani, Ogoja, Ugep, Obudu, Obanliku, and Akpabuyo. Cross River State, nicknamed the People's Paradise, is a leading tourism state in Nigeria. From the soaring plateaus of the mountain tops of Obudu to the rainforest of Afi, the waterfalls of Agbokim and Kwa to the spiraling Oxbow Calabar River, which provides sights and images of the Tinapa Business Resort. There's always a thrilling adventure awaiting the eco-tourist visiting Cross River State. Cross River State benefits from its vast arable land and plentiful rainfall, which makes for a state conducive to cultivation. Agricultural produce is the leading non-oil revenue contributor to the state's economy and employs at least 70% of the state's labor force. Investment in infrastructure and modern inputs like fertilizers, tools, agrochemicals, and mechanized equipment have greatly improved the quality and quantity of agricultural output and the lives of her people. Oil palms, rubber, and cocoa are some of Cross River's major cash crop. This contributes about 40% of the state's gross domestic product, GDP. A greater part of this produce are, however, generated from the rural communities who lack other basic infrastructures like electricity, pipe-borne water, and most importantly, transportation. For a major agricultural producing state where this produce needs to be moved from one place to another, this is a monumental calamity. The introduction of the Directorate of Food, Roads and Rural Infrastructure, DFRI, was a blessing to the nation some decades ago. This development came on the basis of the reality that the rural areas of Nigeria are inhabited by the bulk of the nation's population. They serve as the base for the production of food and fiber. In general terms, the rural areas engage in primary activities that form the foundation for any economic development. Yet, despite the importance attached to the rural areas, they are not attractive to live in. There is the absence of infrastructure, which improves the quality of life. The rural people have low purchasing power and standard of living. Attempts at solving the rural problems had been the concern of the federal government over the years, with the launching of programs like Operation Feed the Nation, OFN, the National Accelerated Food Production Program, and DFRI. The contention of the policymakers is that rural infrastructure, if adequately provided, can enhance the quality of rural life. However, it is assumed that the rural people have benefited very little or nothing from most of these rural development programs, especially in Cross River State. It is against this backdrop that the federal government of Nigeria, through the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development and the Federal Ministry of Finance with aids from the African Development Bank and Cross River State Government, initiated the Cross River State Rural Access and Mobility Project.
The sponsors of Cross River Rural Access and Mobility Projects are the Cross River State Government itself, the African Development Bank, and of course the federal government of Nigeria. These are the sponsors of
The project, which is to construct 474 kilometers of rural access roads, is targeted towards providing all-seasons rural access to communities across the state, support increased agricultural production by facilitating easy access of inputs, reduce transport and vehicular costs in the zone of influence, increase farm gate prices, alleviate rural poverty, and attract social development such as water and electricity supplies to the rural areas. Rural Access and Mobility Project is the implementation strategy of the National Rural Travel Transport Policy. This is a major rural transport intervention project aimed at ensuring all year-round accessibility and mobility in the rural areas, thereby contributing to the improvement of the quality of life of rural people and reducing the level of poverty. The African Development Bank has identified Cross River State to benefit in this laudable program, with the state measuring up to the National Rural Travel Transport Policy requirements.
Yes, this unit, as the name portrays, Rural Access and Mobility Project, is to provide all-weather roads and sustainable rural roads in our communities. That's all over the country. That is the main objective of this project. The relationship between the Federal Project Management Unit, that is the FPMU, and the Cross River RAM is very simple. Our own is to prepare states to participate in this project, and that is exactly what we did for Cross River State to participate in this project. And we do the coordination and the monitoring of these projects. So not only Cross River State, but even for other states that are participating in this project. So the relationship is very cordial, and everything is working, and the government of Cross River is happy with the kind of coordination we are doing, and the project is progressing very fast in Cross River State.
RAM, like the name goes, Cross River State Rural Access and Mobility Project, the domicile in Cross River State. So all the benefits that accrue from RAM program will now be for the Cross River State individuals. So that is one. Number two, Cross River State also signed a subsidiary agreement with the Federal Ministry of Finance as a beneficiary of the loan from African Development Bank. And number three is that Cross River State contributes counterpart fund. The original bank loan from the African Development Bank of 39.4 million UA was shared in the ratio the bank was to give 89%, while the Cross River State government was to give, the state government, federal government is 2.2%, while the Cross River State government was to give the balance of 1%. So you will find out that in financing Cross River State government, in benefiting Cross River State is also signing agreement Cross River State signs. So RAM was definitely for Cross River.
In the original design, the African Development Bank committed to construct and rehabilitate 474 kilometers of rural roads to lateritic surface with only steep hills to be double surface dressed. The government of Cross River State, under the dynamic leadership of Senator Liel Imoke, however, insisted that the roads be asphalted in view of the region's characteristically high rainfall and surface runoff, which have adverse effect on the surface roads.
The RAM project is a project that I strongly believe in, and that's why we're investing about 67% of the total value of the project is actually coming from Cross River State. the ADB had some ideas as to how these roads should be developed. In the original design, there were laterite roads, but I was the one that insisted on asphalt dressing on the roads for obvious reasons. One is, of course, the weather and the terrain in these parts. It didn't make sense to invest in just laterite roads, and I thought we should have roads that would last and would be able to provide much more benefit to the beneficiary communities. So working with the African Development Bank, we agreed that Cross River State would fund the shortfall. Even so, we are now the bigger of the two funders for the RAM project.
African Development Bank granted a no objection to the Cross River State government's request on the condition that the state would finance the additional cost of the asphalt work. This condition was graciously approved by His Excellency, the Governor of Cross River State, and funds provided to match the additional demand. The World Standard International Competitive Bidding (ICB) was used to procure the 8 contractors for the execution of the civil works in 8 lots, comprising of a total of 28 roads. Contracts for these 8 lots were signed at the cost of 20.325 billion naira, with the Cross River State government financing 13.309 billion naira, which is 65.48% of the total cost, and the African Development Fund 7.016 billion naira at 34.52%, that is a ratio of 2:1. This ratio is significant and unprecedented in the history of the African Development Fund funded programs in Africa. Hence, the showcasing of the Cross River Ramp as the best ongoing funded project in Nigeria in terms of state counterpart funding and implementation strategies in August 2012. Meanwhile, adequate budgetary provisions have been made between 2011 and 2013 to ensure that payments to contractors are not delayed. The components of these roads include earthworks, construction of culvert and side drains, as well as concrete pavements. The comprehensive list of roads include commencement of the project, some community leaders in these areas had a lot of expectation towards this project. Apparently, the nightmares on these roads have to be phased out.
Our expectations are very high. Very, very high. One, we are expecting a turnaround in our economy. A situation where before this road comes, or came as it's coming in now, our items are left to rot. The ones the buyers will bluff us with and refuse to buy, they are allowed to rot. We now have a hope that once the road is completed and we have access to the outside world, marketers or buyers will come and sellers will also come. We are believing that we shall be able to sell our goods at our own determined prices. We can equally have access to go outside, buy and come and sell. Others will bring their goods to sell to us and vice versa. Invariably, every farmer will have meaning for his farm work.
Our difficulty, the most important problem we have in the community is access roads to where we are farming. Some of us farm very distant from here, about 10 miles, 12 miles, 15 miles. Mileage is not even called kilometer, along the forest, through the forest. And we keep on trekking all along. But as God would have it today, that a Savior has come, that we should be saved by having the government has seen us as a suffering community.
I so thank God that the government have recognized us coming to construct Idebe road for us. This is a road that we have been suffering for years, and it's a road that the community normally work on it. Most of the times I do hire grader to come and create the road. I bought laterite to fill the bad areas. Sometimes it's good, they told us, and government equally to send some people. They came and surveyed the place, including this very road to the stream side. And at the end of it, Zenith Construction Company came in, that they are the people to work on the road for us.
A visit to some of these roads before the intervention of RAMP show how terrible some of these roads were. Some communities in the state have actually been cut off from civilization for so many years. Some of these roads have been constructed during the colonial era and are now death traps to the people of the communities who venture to ply them. On completion of the appraisal and planning phases, the implementation of the projects by the contractors commenced in earnest as they quickly moved to sites to start work. The construction and rehabilitation of these roads are specifically designed to stand the test of times. However, this project, like every other in its range, came with its own challenges.
Any well thought of project like that must have challenges, because there is nothing that that comes out to be beautiful like that will not have challenges along the line. So there are a lot of challenges, but we are able to cope with the challenges, and especially that of the Cross River State. You discover that there is a long period of duration of rainfall, so that used to affect continuous construction on site. So the time or the work plan that is being prepared for the project to be completed within a specific period of time, normally it's being elongated because of the long duration of rainfall in that state.
Cost of big construction materials is always fluctuating. Cement, reinforcements, bitumen, chippings and all that, and even including labor. So we have to be able to manage these forces that are affecting our costing, to make sure that we don't overshoot the contract amount. So that's a big challenge. And then the other challenge, it may not be quite the topography of our state. There are some roads that pass through very, very difficult terrain, like Baniku and Obudu. Those are very difficult terrains. The hills, rocks. We have to blast rocks with some of our roads. And we have to bulldoze heavy rocks, roll them out of the road. So these are some of the challenges now.
In spite of these challenges, the Rural Access and Mobility Project have succeeded where others have failed. These roads are sure to survive the test of time because of the form with which the contract is prepared. Incidentally, each road will be handed over specifically to the communities on the corridor of these projects. The expectation of the people in these communities were very high, and now the roads are ready. Virtually all the nooks and crannies of Cross River State have been opened up. The people in these communities that have been enormously affected are now overjoyed by these developments. They know that transporting their goods to the main towns with ease is now a reality.
Under construction, it was only about 5 meters across, and it was very bad and rough. But now that they have started working on it, at least there's a good improvement.
Very happy.
Yeah.
Our community is developing. We are happy and we are thanking our government, especially our brother, Elia Imuke, is doing a better thing. Especially we, community of Ipalegua here, we are happy. Let him keep on. We are still at him, supporting him to the last point. We are happy.
We too happy because of this rural season. All of us, the very day where this thing come, nobody, all of us will be happy. So, all of us will even thank Ali Imuke. So, thank you.
Thank you, government. Thank you.
We are very happy. In fact, the government are trying a lot, and we appreciate their effort. So, what we want them to help us to do is the development of other areas in this our community. So I thank you very much for all you have done for me.
Nigerians can now expect prices of foodstuff in the market to depreciate and be readily available in abundance. The people are also delighted because they can now connect to the world and have access to all other economic development that road projects like this carry along with it. According to the words of the National Coordinator, the success story of the Cross River State Rural Access and Mobility Project is a bandwagon for all other states in Nigeria to follow.
Yeah, this project is a project that's supposed to reach every state in this country, but because of the financial involvement, we are reaching the states in phases. So the phase 1 of this project, apart from Cross River State, is Kaduna State, and Kaduna State is doing very well. They are constructing over 470 kilometers of rural roads and about 132 number of river crossings in that state. And the project has started impacting positively on the lives of the people in Kaduna State. And so many states that are not even participating in RAMP have been going to Kaduna State to see what is being done in Kaduna State. And they are happy with the progress, with what they saw, and they are also clamoring to participate in this project.
We leave you with the transformation process the Cross River rural roads have taken from inception to the finish line.